You think your cat is happy because you feed them, buy toys, give them everything they need. But what if that's not what matters at all? That moment, they ignore your toy, sit quietly near you, or suddenly pull away. You call it normal. But what if it's your cat reacting to something deeper? Something you're either giving them or taking away without realizing it. The real question is, are you actually making your cat feel safe or just assuming you are? Something doesn't add up. When your cat chases a tiny moving shadow across the wall, it seems simple. They're just playing, burning energy, acting on instinct. But if that's true, why do they sometimes ignore the same toy you just bought for them? Why do they walk away, even when you try harder to entertain them? Most people think a happy cat is just a well-fed, sleepy one. A cat with toys, a soft bed, and a full bowl. That should be enough, right? But something about that doesn't fully make sense. Because even with everything they need, some cats still seem distant, quiet, watching. As if something important is missing, something you can't quite see. And here's the part most people never realize. Happiness for a cat doesn't come from what you give them. It comes from what they feel in your presence. And once you start to understand what actually creates that feeling, you'll begin to see your cat in a completely different way. There's something deeper. Have you ever noticed how your cat sometimes just sits near you, doing absolutely nothing? No playing, no asking for food. No obvious reason at all. Most people look at that and think they're bored or they're just being lazy. But that interpretation misses something important. Because in the world of cats, doing nothing together is actually something. Cats don't stay close to just anyone. In the wild, they only rest near those they fully trust. No tension, no need to watch every movement, just quiet presence. So when your cat chooses to sit in the same room or the same couch without asking anything from you, they're not bored, they're comfortable. And comfort for a cat is not casual, it's earned. This is where the misunderstanding begins. People think happiness is excitement, toys, movement, stimulation. But for your cat, happiness often looks like stillness. And if you really understand what that stillness means, you'll realize something subtle is happening between you, something most people never notice. And we're only just getting to the surface of it, the turning point. Now think about this. Have you ever tried to play with your cat and they just stared at the toy like it meant nothing? You moved it faster, made it bounce, tried harder, and still, nothing. Most people assume the cat is lazy or uninterested, maybe even a little ungrateful. But that's not what's happening. Because for a cat, it's not the toy that matters. It's the experience behind it. Cats are not wired to play the way we think. They're wired to hunt, to track, to wait, to feel that slow build of tension before the moment of action. So when a toy moves in a predictable, repetitive way, something breaks. The illusion disappears. And with it, their interest. This is the moment where everything starts to shift. Because happiness, for your cat, isn't about having things. It's about feeling something real, a sense of purpose, a moment that feels alive, a connection to instincts they never lost. And if that feeling isn't there, nothing else can replace it. Not comfort, not food, not even you. But when it is there, that's when your cat starts to come alive in a way most people rarely see. And this is only one piece of something much bigger, the first real layer. Now think about the moments when your cat comes up to you and starts making a soft sound, a small, specific meow. Most people hear it and think it's random. Maybe the cat is hungry. Maybe they just want attention. But here's what almost no one realizes. Adult cats don't actually meow to each other. That sound was shaped for you. Somewhere along the way, your cat understood something very simple. You don't read body language the way they do. You miss the signals, the tail, the eyes, the slow movements. So they adapted. They brought back a sound they used as kittens and built an entire way of communicating just to reach you. And it gets deeper. That sound isn't generic. Over time, your cat creates different tones for different moments. One for food, one for curiosity, one that only appears late at night for no clear reason. It's a language that exists only between the two of you, which means something important. Your cat isn't just living random with you. They're trying to connect with you, and happiness for them begins exactly there, in being understood. But what happens when that connection becomes something even stronger is where things start to change in a way most people never expect. It's becoming a bond. Think about the moment your cat gently presses their paw against you. Not scratching, not grabbing, just resting it there. Most people smile and think it's just a cute habit. Maybe the cat wants food, maybe attention, but that small gesture carries something deeper. Cats don't reach out like that without a reason. In their world, touch is careful, intentional, never wasted. That soft paw is their way of saying, "I trust you enough to reach for you." And sometimes it's even more than that. They're marking you, claiming you as part of their world, mixing their scent with yours in the quietest way possible. But here's where it changes everything. Cats are built for survival. Every movement matters. Every position is calculated. So when they place their paw on you and leave it there, they're doing something unusual. They're choosing connection over caution. And that choice is not small. Because with every small action like this, it becomes clearer. Your cat isn't just reacting to you. They're forming a bond with you. They're learning your patterns, feeling your presence, adjusting to your rhythm. And happiness, for them, is no longer just about instinct, it's about you. But there's one moment where this connection reveals something even deeper, something most people completely miss until it's too late. Something changes. Now notice this. There are days when your cat feels closer. They follow you more, sit nearer, stay longer than usual. Most people think they're just in the mood today. But cats don't do things randomly. They respond to something you often don't even realize you're showing. Your breathing, your movement, your tension. Cats are incredibly sensitive to emotional shifts, even subtle ones, the kind you don't notice yourself. So when your cat suddenly stays close, it might not be about them at all. It might be about you. They sense when something is different, when your energy changes, when you're tired, stressed, or quiet in a different way, and instead of pulling away, they move closer. This is where happiness becomes something deeper than comfort or instinct. It becomes connection. Because your cat isn't just living in the same space anymore, they're tuned into you. And here's the part most people miss. If this closeness suddenly disappears, if your cat stops coming, stops sitting near you, stops reaching out, that means something too. And many owners only understand it when it's already too late. The shift. At some point, if you pay close enough attention, something becomes clear. All these little moments, the quiet sitting, the slow blink, the gentle paw, the way they follow you without a sound, they were never random. Most people think their cat is just living next to them, sharing space, existing in the same home. But that's not what's really happening. Because when your cat chooses to sleep near you, to adjust their rhythm to yours, to communicate in ways they never use with other cats, it's not about survival anymore. It's about trust. Deep, instinct-level trust. The kind that makes an animal lower its guard. The kind that allows vulnerability in a world where vulnerability is dangerous. And here's the shift most people never make. When your cat feels happy, it's not because their life is easy. It's because you became the place where they don't have to be on guard. You became the one presence that tells their entire system, it's safe now. And that changes everything. Because it means your cat's happiness is not built from things. It's built from you. And once you truly see that, there's only one final piece left to understand. The simple truth. In the end, it turns out something very simple was true all along. Your cat doesn't feel happy because of the toys you buy, or the food you give, or even the comfort of your home. Those things matter, but they're not the reason. Because a cat can have all of that and still feel distant. What actually makes your cat feel happy is something much quieter. It's the way you speak to them in a tone they recognize as safe. It's the way you move without pressure, without force. It's the moments you don't demand anything and simply exist, rad 'em. It's the way you respond when they reach out, even in the smallest ways. 7 things, but all leading to one idea. Your cat doesn't need a perfect life. They need a place where they can feel understood without trying. And somehow, through all your pravichki, dvizhenia, and presence, they decided that place is you. That's why they come closer. That's why they stay. That's why they choose you again and again. Not because they have to, but because in their world, you are where they feel safe enough to be themselves.